Have you ever found yourself wondering, or maybe had someone ask you the question of how could a good God allow bad things to happen? Um, I've been guilty of wondering that at a point in my life as well. And the Lord has really pricked my heart to like search His Word deeper and just to find understanding for others through that. He revealed that to me, and it just, when He did reveal the reasoning to me, um, it just, my heart was so, my heart's desire was to help other people understand and um, just know His heart better. Because sometimes, like, things happen in our lives that maybe it was like obviously He's a good Father. He doesn't want us to hurt. He doesn't want us to um, he doesn't want bad things to happen to us, but we live in a fallen world, and that's just life. That's just what happens sometimes. And because we are believers, we will be persecuted for things, and that's in here as well. And like just because you're a believer doesn't mean you're not going to suffer. If anything, that's when the enemy will turn up the heat and try to target you more. But we can rejoice in our sufferings because we don't fight alone. We fight from victory because Jesus is in us, and He is with us, and He is for us. But this brings me to the story of Joseph. So Joseph's brothers were jealous of him. He had dreams from God of there was one particular dream where his brothers were like bowing down to him, and he shared this with them, and they did not receive it in faith. They actually hated him because of that, and so they end up selling him into slavery, and telling his dad that a wild animal killed him when they were out, which was a lie. And anyway, so years go on. Joseph gets sold into slavery, and then he gets taken to Egypt, and he ends up being like of authority. And then he got falsely accused by the wife that he was trying to make a pass, and he wasn't. He got falsely accused, thrown into jail. He stayed in jail for a while, and when he was in jail, the Lord was with him and gave him favor with the guards and all the people, and he interpreted a dream while he was in jail. And that moment, a couple like years passed, and then the Pharaoh called for him because he heard that he could interpret dreams, and he did, and he interpreted a dream. And then Pharaoh made him it was a dream that was prophesying to the famine that was going to come to the land. So Pharaoh made him leader over all of the people. So the one that was sold into slavery, then spent in jail time for something he didn't even do, was now leader and ruler over all the people. The only one that was above him was Pharaoh. So his brothers, the very same brothers that sold him into slavery, it was famine throughout the land, and his brothers came to Egypt to buy some grain, and Joseph was the one that was over the sales and over all of that. So like if someone wanted to buy if someone wanted to buy something, they had to buy it from Joseph had to handle that transaction. So Joseph sees his brothers, they don't recognize him, and Joseph is like a little stern to them, and like, you're spies, he says. No, we're not spies. And so they go back and forth, and they end up telling him that they have a bunch of brothers, and one is dead, and one is younger, and he's at home with his dad, which is Joseph's dad. And so anyway, so Joseph says, okay, bring me back. Let me see the little boy, or you will not ever get to come back here again and see my face again. The little boy was Joseph's brother, and Joseph wanted to see his brother, because this would have been the only brother he had the same mom and dad with. The other brothers, they had different mom from Joseph. And so they go back. Joseph's dad won't let the brothers bring him, his little brother, whose name is Benjamin. And so he's like, no, I've already lost one. I'm not going to let you, like, take him too. So time went by and they didn't have a choice but to go back. So they took him. All of this took place. Joseph, like, saw them again and set up, like, I don't know, a cup. He put a cup in Benjamin's bag and, like, chased them down. And the brothers who once betrayed Joseph were like, no, like, when they found the cup was in Benjamin's bag, they were like, no. They ripped their clothes. They were like, please, 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 please take us. Like, we will be your slaves. Do not touch this boy. And so anyways, so after all that, Joseph ends up telling them who he is, and they're just all like, you know, the brothers instantly in their hearts, they're like, oh, great, he's surely going to repay us for what we did to him. And listen to how Joseph responds. He says, I'm Joseph, your brother, the one you sold into Egypt, and now don't be grieved or angry with yourselves for selling me here, because God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. For the famine has been in the land for these 2 years, and there will be 5 more years without plowing or harvesting. God sent me ahead of you to establish you as a remnant within the land and to keep you alive by a great deliverance. Therefore, it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, lord of his entire household, and ruler over all the land of Egypt. Joseph's heart posture towards his brothers, first, he set them straight. He was like, you didn't send me here. God sent me here. God allowed Joseph to be sold into slavery. God allowed Joseph to be falsely accused. God allowed Joseph to have not the best experiences, we could all agree, but God did that for a greater purpose, so that he could go ahead of them. He could preserve their life, the very lives who tried to end his life. There's a verse in the Bible, and it says, what the enemy intends for evil, the Lord uses for good. So the evil that the enemy intended to come from Joseph's betrayal at the hands of his brothers, God turned it into something beautiful that preserved the very same lives that tried to destroy his. That's the God we serve. There's another verse, Jeremiah 29:11, which most are familiar with. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. The King James Version says, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. No matter how you translate it, they all mean the same thing. His will, he who began a good thing will bring it to completion. What the enemy intends for evil, the Lord will always use for good. So yes, there might be things in our life, hard times in our life, where it just felt like there was not a single good thing to be found in it. But when we step back and we get to the other side of that hard season of life, we can see the hand of God. We can see that his plans aren't to harm us, but to prosper us, to give us a hope and a future. And my prayer for anyone that is watching this, whatever you're going through, whatever season of life you're finding yourself in, I pray that you will just begin to have open eyes to see things the way that God sees them, that you will begin to find the purpose in the pain of whatever season of life you're walking through, because God has so much good for you. The pain you've been feeling cannot compare to the joy that is to come and the joy that will be revealed in you and through you through Jesus Christ.